Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, and in this video, I'm going to answer a question that has come up multiple times in the past couple of weeks, and that is KDP still worth it in 2021? And for those of you that do not know what that is Amazon's book platform where you upload books or activity books, coloring books, no content books, they're just journals and diaries, and you upload them to Amazon, and then Amazon handles all of the creation process and all of the shipping process to your customers. So it's literally one of the easiest business models that I've ever seen available on Amazon's platform, and that is for many reasons. So in this video, I'm going to answer the question of, is it still worth it to start in 2021? Because it has increasingly become more and more difficult. So we're going to tackle that and a heck of a lot more, and I'm super fired up for this video. I hope you are too. My cat is not, but that's the typical normal everyday thing. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so the answer to this question might actually shock you guys and girls, but I'm going to cover it in great detail, including what the pros and the cons are of signing up for KDP. Now let's talk about starting out as a brand new person on KDP. It really just depends. Now, here is a simple fact and possibly the biggest fact about KDP and why the barrier for entry is very low at the present moment. Now, I don't think that the barrier for entry will remain that much lower for too long. I think at some point Amazon will put some kind of restrictions in place and not allow just anyone and their mother to get a free KDP account. And it's going to be very similar to merch at some point. And the main reason why I say that is because a lot of the delay times that we've seen, not only in the upload process, which were extremely delayed during the holidays, some people reporting as much as 30 days to actually have your book uploaded, where the usual time is anywhere between 48 and 72 hours. So although at the present time, the barrier for entry is very low, again, like I predict in the future, it's going to become quite higher. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting to jump in, I do recommend you do it right now and you at least sign up for the account and you at least upload a book or two, regardless of the quality of the book, just to be able to have the account and just to get grandfathered in case they do start creating some restrictions for brand new accounts, as I do predict that is what they'll do because that's what they've done with every single other platform that they have, including merch and FBA. Now, the second biggest pro to all of KDP is the simple fact that anyone can get an account absolutely free. So you can sign up, have the account almost instantaneously, and then all it pretty much takes after that is you uploading the book and waiting for Amazon to review the book to make sure it follows all their guidelines and that it is in the correct format. So as I said before, there is no other platform on Amazon that you can do that with. Merch requires approval, as does FBA now, and FBA has become increasingly more difficult as they require more and more paperwork, including, in most cases, a passport nowadays. Now, another huge pro to this is, I will be straight up honest with you guys, much of the material available for you to be able to start and get started selling your own books, all that material is available free through YouTube. If you take the time and the energy to have to sift through, there's a ton of creators on here that know what they're doing, that have successful book businesses, and they can teach you pretty much as long as you have the time, and it's absolutely free. Now, obviously, there's a lot of resources that are paid, and there's many that I do recommend, but it's pretty straightforward as to how to start it and how to make designs. There's a ton of information available on this subject. With that being said, if you already have a skill associated with the creation of the book process, being if you're a graphic artist or inclined to like to create designs, then it's great for you because, again, you can learn most of the rest of the skills on YouTube for free as long as you're willing to put in the energy and willing to study what it takes. Now, for me, if you're a graphic arts dummy like me, then you're pretty screwed because then you will have to pay money to other people in order to create books for you. But the good thing is that you can pay people very little money on sites like Fiverr and or get your very own VA from the Philippines that can create these designs for you. And again, it won't take that much money out of your pocket, but just be aware that if you're not willing to learn the graphic designs and or study the entire topic, that you will have to pull money out of your pocket in order to create designs if you're not willing to do the work, which I obviously am lazy, so I definitely don't want to do that. So if you too are lazy like me and would rather be at the bar having a shot, then it is definitely not the business model for you. And then the final biggest reason why it's well worth your time is that unlike merch, you have really very limited design restrictions. So let me kind of explain that. On Amazon's t-shirt platform, you are limited to the number of designs you can upload at any one time when you are brand new. So you're limited to 10 total designs, and until you sell more than 10 and or have more than 80% of those spots filled, then you cannot what's called is tier up. So that means that you will not be allowed to upload any more than 10 designs and sell 10 designs at any one time until you make sales to prove to Amazon that you deserve to continue to move forward and upward in their program. Now with KDP, it's entirely different. You have an unlimited amount of uploads, and it's unlimited to a certain extent, but unless you do plan to do more than 1,000 uploads a week, then you should be completely safe. And I know that somebody brand new is not going to want to upload that many designs. So altogether, you can do as many uploads as you possibly want and still have several chances to sell those. A lot of people have hundreds and sometimes even thousands of designs up on KDP, which are making them sales every single day. So all in all, those are all the big reasons why you should be on KDP, but let's play devil's advocate here and talk about the reasons that you shouldn't be, and then I'll talk about whether or not it is worth your time to do this business in 2021. All right, so one of the biggest cons and one of the reasons why I've struggled with some of it in some regards is that if you're not willing to do the work, you do have to find the outsourcers, and good outsourcers can be hard to find and keep. If any of you have worked with people in the Philippines, a lot of times they do this disappearing act better than David Copperfield does, and you will lose VAs very often. So in the case that you get a pretty good artist and you get a pretty good set of books out of them, and then all of a sudden they do a disappearing act, then pretty much your entire brand that you created around this book has also done a disappearing act, and you no longer have the ability to continue to create books unless you find an artist that can do art very similarly. But a lot of artists have different styles, so it can become increasingly difficult to manage graphic artists, and it can take a lot of money. And on the other side, if you decide you don't want to do the design work, again, it can sometimes get a little bit more difficult because of the fact that you will have to find those people. Now, a second big negative to it is, contrary to popular belief and what I've seen a lot of gurus say here on YouTube, is it does take money out of your pocket in order to make these books successful, unless you adopt a model of spraying and praying and putting out as many books as possible. A lot of the top books out there are currently using Amazon's advertising platform and therefore paying their way to the top of the ranks, and that is why they sell so much. But there are a lot of people that are not willing to do that, or they just don't have the pockets for it. So that's one of the bad things about the whole thing, is some of the numbers that you see are false expectations for brand new people, because brand new people often don't have the deep pockets that advanced and or veteran sellers do. The third big con is that a lot of people feel that it can be fast money, because again, a lot of gurus sell it upon the fact of you take all your merch designs, you slap them on a journal, and boom, you have books that are ready for sale. And the reality is that it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to put out good, solid quality books. It takes that both from the part of the designer, if you decide to be the designer, as well as the outsourcer. So you have to find good quality employees, or do it yourself and make sure you make it good quality work, which again, a lot of people are under the assumption that you slap all the designs you have, slap them on a cover somewhere, and boom, you're going to get sales magically and you're going to make money overnight. That's not the case. A lot of merch designs just don't work for KDP. A third huge con is that with all things associated with COVID right now, as well as the influx of brand new sellers into the KDP program, you might have to wait during many periods of the year for extra upload times. And so that 48 to 72 hour upload period now becomes anywhere between 10 to 30 days to actually upload a book, which is very annoying for a lot of people that just don't have the experience of what's going on Amazon. So you have delays as much as that time, which means you won't get sale on your brand new books, which means that you have to plan way in advance for books that you have coming out on a holiday, just in the case that that holiday is swamped and the number of uploads goes up on Amazon's end, which will mean that it'll take longer for your book to be published live on Amazon's site. And adding to that point, it does also take a lot of skill set in order to rank books. Slapping them up there is one thing, but ranking books is an entirely different skill that you must learn. And not a lot of people are willing to master it because it does cost money. So you've got a lot of people just spraying and praying every possible book they can put out there without really trying to learn the Amazon algorithm and learning what it takes to rank a book to the top of the search listings, which in turn means many more sales for your book. And now let's talk about the last big con against going into KDP. And that is that there are a ton of brand new sellers coming in that have no idea what they're doing, that are uploading too many books, that are getting suspended very easily, and that in general are causing a delay in veteran sellers' book upload speeds. So the fact that there's that many brand new sellers also creates a more competitive field, because you have all the same people going for very similar keywords. And so what it means is that you have to pump money into the book in order for it to rank. If you do not, then you'll just get stuck in the Amazon graveyard, as I like to call it, which is nowhere. Your book won't come up in the ranks. You won't even feel your book is indexed, and you just won't even see it anywhere on any of the top 20 pages, which is very normal. So in general, very few of your books will sell, and it'll get continually frustrating and more frustrating because of the fact that you are not making sales because your books are not seen. So at the end of the day, what exactly is my advice for a brand new person coming into Amazon? Would I recommend KDP or not? Well, the answer is it just depends. It depends on if you are going to put in the work and if you do have a little bit of extra money. If you don't have the extra money, no worry. You just have to understand that you will have to put in extra work. And by extra work, I mean you're going to have to either learn the skills to create your own books or be willing to hire somebody to create those for you. And again, it's just going to take a lot of energy and effort on your part. Long gone are the days of easy money, and being able to upload books with very little competition would easily make you sales. Now it's a whole different ball game, and you just have to get used to it. So if you're willing to put the energy and the work and the effort, then yes, I do recommend KDP above all other Amazon business models. And that's for the simple fact that the barrier for entry is the lowest I've seen to get on the world's largest e-commerce platform. Any other type of Amazon is going to cause you problems because the barrier for entry has gotten quite high. That includes merch, that includes Amazon FBA, and that includes any other way to sell on Amazon. So I absolutely do recommend KDP if you're willing to put in that work. Well, I hope I answered that question for you guys. And if you happen to have any other questions or comments, please post them below. I always personally answer them. And I hope this video helped you guys. So get out there and just let's do this.